The forces of darkness were repelled at Calambel, the great Gondorian fortress. However, now as they flee to the west to meet up with more reinforcements, an ambush lays in wait. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Rise of Mordor Total War online battle. Today we are continuing on the scenario that we did last week where the Siege of Calambel, I believe that's how I'm pronouncing it, but either way you guys know what I mean, took place. The forces of Isengard were repelled against the strong defences of Dale and Gondor, and now you can see their armies are fleeing through the forest trying to meet up with more reinforcements. I say they're kind of fleeing, they're honestly really not. There's still 15 goddamn thousand of them, so it's not like they're just, you know, running away. I guess we could maybe argue that they're running to get leadership or something. Maybe there's a grand Uruk commander waiting for them off in the distance. But, you know, then it's not going to be as simple as that. There is a pretty healthy and sizable force of Gondorians sneaking through the woodland, looking to put a stop to this large force and kind of smash down the remnants of evil in this area. So as you can see, this is a very long replay, 75 minutes. However, I was assured that a large portion of this replay was kind of like maneuvering units around, just because the sheer size of this map, which is really cool. So don't worry guys, I will be cutting out a lot of the boring maneuvering and stuff like that if I don't think it's worth you guys checking out. So even though this is a very long replay, I'm sure I'll cut it down to like 40 plus minutes. But you know, either way, just go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea, sit down, relax. I've got my cup of tea ready for another epic Lord of the Rings scenario battle. And obviously, if you guys are enjoying these, be sure to go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. It's a really good way to let me know that you guys want to see more of this type of content, and also let the guys know who are creating these battles basically for you guys to watch, that you are enjoying them as well. So as you can see, the forces of Isengard, and obviously the forces of Dunland, oh no, Mordor and Isengard, yeah, sorry, they're going to be trying to break their way through this forest lining, and then throughout the settlement, or throughout the map, we're going to have a large Gondorian contingent kind of set out, ready to ambush at every single step of the way. And already you can see that the forces of evil are trying to break this kind of initial Gondorian encampment up in the forest. Is going to be the best way for them to do it, and they are sending the largest portion of their forces. This entire Mordor army is going to come down and kind of clear out this far left hand side, break against the Gondorian defenses, whereas it seems the forces of Isengard are simply just marching through. Maybe they have the messenger to push forward, so we're going to have these elite Uruk infantry making their way forward. They're going to be the ones supported obviously by a lot of more heavy infantry, but I'm sure the Gondorians are not going to let them just quite as easily break out as they may have originally thought. And obviously, if they manage to win this battle, the forces of evil, they go ahead, and I've actually got it written down right here. If they manage to win the battle, they'll meet up with a Dunland army, which is raring to go and ready to push them out and, yeah, do a lot of damage to the final defenses. Because obviously this is a three-part scenario, so if they do win, then things will get pretty crazy. So we'll have to see that. We're getting a pretty nice cavalry charge coming in though right off the bat here from the forces of evil, looking to smash upon the Gondorians. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I don't know if I can change it at all, because I guess it will just be maybe something like that will make it a little bit better, because it's a little bit blue, I would say. Hopefully it's fine on my recording software, and it just looks okay. So they're doing a pretty good job at clearing out kind of these few initial units which are kind of vanguard deployed forward. However, they are going to start meeting a little bit more of a healthier resistance now in the Forest of Ithilien. They're coming up against some axemen now, which will be a little bit stronger, especially as they're fighting just Uruk scouts. So they should do a little bit better in this front line. And I guess I feel like for the good guys, it's mainly just about doing as much damage to these forces as they can, because they're so scattered, right? They have men just throughout the battlefield, so they just want to kind of at each single stop, they want to try and just do damage. But obviously for the forces of evil, they don't want to you know, leave any stone unturned, because if they leave a stone unturned, that could come back to bite them with a massive cavalry charge, or, you know, archers or spearmen coming into their back. And that's why they're taking this careful approach You can just see the Orc rabble all over the place right now as the Gondorian front line holds firm. And here we go. The crappy Orc rabble are going to go in and try and soften up the defense. Any bit of damage that they can do, they'll be happy with, because the Orc rabble are just so goddamn cheap that you just throw them in and use them like Orc rabble. I think they have been buffed in the most recent patch, which is nice to see, because before they were doing like literally no damage to the enemy line, which was, I think, a bit too extreme. I think the Orc rabble should at least, you know, rack up 4, 5, 6, maybe like 10 kills on an elite infantry unit. Because, I mean, they are pretty trash, obviously, but, you know, you got to make them somewhat worthy to bring, you know. Oh, and it seems like the forces of Isengard are sprinting forward. Their vanguard has engaged the Gondorian battle line, but we have battle-hardened Gondorian troops here ready to hold the line. Also, out of interest, can you get through here? You can. Oh, okay, so this is probably why Mordor are attacking it, because in the map you can actually break your way through and come up behind these defenders right here. Very interesting indeed. It seems like this is the exit point right here, so that's where they'll be going. We also have a very nice missile setup right here as well. Oh, these are Philian Rangers. There's some Blackroot Vale Archers, but they've got a perfect setup, just hammering the Orcs as they come clumbering through the woods. So that's really, really nice. And as you can see, we have battles on every front right now, as they're just looking to kind of take bit by bit this woodland and securing it for themselves. But the Gondorians are rushing in, looking to do as much damage as possible. Because, I mean, these outer outposts aren't going to hold right. And I think the players know that. And that's why they're just trying to kind of take out archers, kill, you know, valuable infantry units more than anything else. And just grind them down, because they are heavily outnumbered in this battle, right? There's, what, 10,000 of them, so they're outnumbered by about 5,000 soldiers. So the Gondorians are going to have some, you know, some pressure against them. And it seems like Mordor are using their numbers. They're committing these archers round the flanks to shoot at the enemy infantry in the back. But the Gondorians are going to be charging in with their own infantry as well, trying to catch these guys off. And as I said, like, these are cheap archers, but if you can kill them, that significantly reduces the power of their forces. And you can see they are being pushed back from this camp. The cavalry is causing havoc, but the vassal Southern Lancers are going to be kind of taking a bit of damage there, and the archers are going to be continuing to harass. So, you know, they're doing a pretty decent job. And just imagine if the Gondorians managed to hold this outpost and the forces of Mordor had to commit more men back here, how crazy that would be for them. There is a full-on assault, though. Look at that battle line. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because of all the trees, but that's kind of the battlefield after all, right? And I'll try my best to give you guys some nice zoom-in shots here, so you don't have to just stare at all the trees constantly. So hopefully it's okay, but that's kind of the whole point of this battle, right? Is that it's going to be very foresty. It is an ambush. There you can see the forces really going in. The spearmen holding firm though, which is good because these guys are, what, only tier 2? Yeah, these are only trained infantry, so they're not the elite versions of like the Gondorian swords. They'll do decent. And they are also starting to repel a couple units of infantry over on this other side, but more reinforcements are quickly being sent in. Oh, we've got some Uruk Throng here as well. So this is the really strong Orc infantry right here. They will also be getting countercharged there by the Gondorian Imperial Infantry. Which are a pretty nice match, honestly. So as you can see from the overall battlefield, the front line for Gondor seems like it's holding, and it kind of needs to, right? But the entirety of the Isengard army has now arrived at this little contingent right here. I guess they really want to try and clear it out before anything else. And this is actually a really interesting thing, right? Because if the Isengard army can break this infantry right here, which it seems that they're kind of struggling to do, the Gondor spears holding, but again, they are only just fighting rabble, so, you know, it is what it is. But just imagine this for a second. If they can break through this section of the battlefield, they can come up all the way behind this huge part of the Gondorian army and just clear it out and take it out, and then they can just move on and, I would assume, kind of take out this last force fairly easily. So it is imperative that this Gondorian infantry holds the line against the half-orc axes until this kind of fight has concluded, because, yeah, the Isengard army can quickly come up behind them and ravage their back lines if they're not careful. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there is a very nice division of Swan Knights just waiting for the right time to come in. So yeah, their reinforcements will arrive, and them Swan Knights will be invaluable if it comes to Gondor having a chance of winning this battle. And it does seem like finally their forces have been broken up at this little camp. They are putting up a brave last stand though. And they've basically taken out the entire evil force that was sent to take this outpost. Just for basic Haradrim swords. Very lightly armoured. Not very well equipped, just given a sword. So the archers are going to be doing okay against them, but eventually they will just be getting overrun. And then what else do we have? We have a little kind of like boxed in spear wall right here of Gondor militia. But the Uruk-hai from Isengard are finishing them out. And then more reinforcements are turning up. So these swordsmen will probably just end up, falling away. They're losing numbers fairly quickly. I think it's only a matter of time until they do break and then this outpost is completely overrun. And the reinforcements are allowed to go and meet up with the rest of their forces. Over in the centre right here, again, the Gondorian battle line is holding very nicely. They're sending back half-orc axes and just more Mordor rabble. I imagine these engagements are really reducing the numbers. But then again, they haven't actually lost that much. They've kind of lost kind of similar amounts of men. Really, honestly. So the forces of Eve are doing a pretty good job right now. I guess something that could be a little bit different is just that a lot of the units may be routing, and that doesn't quite hit the number toll until they properly route. But yeah, right now Gondor needs to maybe start doing some extra killing moves here. But I guess as long as the archers use up all their ammunition, that's probably the most they can do. Until they kind of hit their last stronghold. These archers, how many kills are these archers on now? Almost 200, that's very nice. I imagine as well, they're probably going to be trying to focus down. Actually, I guess they're not. And here we go. Huge breaks in the center. And the forces of evil are going to be quickly utilizing this, throwing their orc pillagers all the way through the center. And I imagine onto the backline archers or just whatever else they can find. So these orcs are going to be turning around and probably either charging into the back of this infantry or moving on. And I think they're going to be moving on into these units of infantry. You can see the Gondorians countercharging them. And that's going to be what most of our reserves. We do actually have a unit of cavalry coming in, though. If I can quickly get onto them through the trees. No, I missed the charge. Sad times. The Gondorian cavalry is going to be colliding into these spearmen. Or these axemen even. Trying to break them up as quickly as possible. Retreating back and then just causing more havoc. I imagine, yeah, they're going in. But yeah, this entire battle line is just a mess now. We have the vassal southern lancers as well, chasing down the Gondorian bowmen. It seems like this outpost has been completely broken. And that's going to allow them to move in. I mean, they could even rush cavalry through. Oh no, have they lost this position? Oh yeah, they've kind of, actually, they've fallen back from this position. This is interesting. They decided to advance forward their infantry and bring back their spearmen. No, I tell a lie. They are actually charging out their spearmen to reinforce. Or maybe just reform. I imagine reform. Yeah, these spear walls are going to be very hard to break, especially as it's just orc rabble constantly being thrown against them. The filthy orcs charging forward. Oh, and we're actually having a reinforcement move right here. The beacons are lit and the Gondorians are sending forward more of their infantry. This is a big contingent of infantry as well. A very big contingent. I mean, again, it's a lot of Gondor sword militia. It's not the best infantry of the world, but if they can come up and kind of rally up, they could deal a lot of damage to the Isengard army. Like, really wound it. Because as I said, that's mainly what they're doing, right, until they get to this. This is basically one choke point littered with archers and artillery and infantry. Like, it's going to be hard to break your way through here, and I think there is literally only one way in. Maybe you can get up through. No, you can't even get up through here. So, yeah, there's like one way in to this position. Maybe there's another point down here. No. Yeah, look, there's literally one point into this final layer. So they're going to have to try and break their way up here under heavy Gondorian archer fire. You know, elite Gondorian spear infantry, catapults, missiles. Like, it's going to be hard. Especially if these Aphelion Rangers come out here and just hit them as they get closer and closer. They're going to take a lot of casualties. If we take a look back at the main fight, though, you can see that this side is completely completed now, and they're going to probably be moving to reinforce the main army. Then you just have like a scattered amount of infantry. These Black Root Vale archers finally being caught as the infantry have come round, and I imagine Isengard are going to be looking to make examples of these archers. I'm thinking like heads in catapults, heads on spikes, thrown at your enemy, because these guys did some serious work against the York army. And I imagine Mordor will be wanting to punish that pretty heavily. How many kills did they end up on? Let's say 250, I'll say. 350, wow, that's 100 more. That's a lot. That's a third more than I thought they would have. But as you can see, the force is broken now. Gondor have like a handful of members. They've did some good damage to the army, I'm not going to lie. They've almost killed 5,000 of them, so yeah, they're definitely taking casualties. And here we go, the big Gondorian advance moving in. Man, I imagine like there's this really big excitement at the beginning of the battle now. And then what's going to happen is it's going to come to a point where everyone's just moving to assault this final layer, and we're going to like lose 30 minutes of the battle or something. Gotta have a glorious sip of tea to keep me fueled for this battle. And you can really see the battle lines. They are testing the forces of Isengard. But Isengard just have, you know, the full contingent of their army they can use just to advance through these gaps and, you know, envelop them. However, there is a wonderful cavalry charge right here onto the Uruk-hai bowmen. That is deadly. And obviously their light infantry as well, because they're sword militia. They can, yeah, kind of cut down a few of these guys and pull back. The heavy White Hand Stormers are moving in to repel them, but that's not going to be before they get a nice rear charge off on the Uruk-hai infantry. So a pretty good move there. And not only, like, even if this assault fails, you've got to still keep in mind, this is tiring out the Uruk infantry. Not only are they, you know, having to march all this way, which tires them out, if they get exhausted through fighting, that's going to mean that they basically don't regain any energy when they move on to the next area. So even though this assault is kind of outmatched, because you've got the entire Isengard army, their main objective, you know, tiring out the enemy is pretty big. Also, guys, do remember that this is a scenario battle, so it's following a story. The outcome, obviously, is not predetermined. It's like whatever happens in the battle kind of determines that. But do keep in mind, these guys are trying to make this, you know, a fun, exciting story battle as well. Which I definitely think are my favourite to cast. Uruk pikemen moving up. Oh my God, this looks so clean. Look at them, man. They look awesome. They're going to be pushing up, ready to put down their pikes and just basically kind of, you know, envelop this assault, finish it off. And these archers are still shooting. How many kills have these Gondor archers on? 300. Yeah, the archers are going to be the key to victory in this battle. They really are. And it's obviously killing like berserkers and other bowmen are going to be so important. Because the thing is as well, you know, like, until cavalry get over here, I mean, it's rushing, but until the cavalry get over here, you know, these archers are going to unload all of their arrows. Seems like the infantry, the Gondor militia, are now fully breaking. Brave souls, but not enough. Got some obviously medium infantry here as well. The Ringlow Vale infantry. The vassals of Gondor have been called to defend the White Tree. That's one of the things I always loved about the Gondor roster. Is it just wasn't the, like, it wasn't just Minas Tirith. You had all these different kind of vassals from throughout the kingdom. And I'm sure there's hundreds of more they could have added, but I like the selection they have. They kind of have militia, like the Black Root Vale, Ringlow Vale men. You have the Pillenigith Marines. Sounds like something from the Welsh language. You have the Axemen as well, the two-handed Axemen as well. And then you obviously just have the normal Gondorian soldiers. Then you have the Swan Knights from Dol Amroth. So I really like the Gondor roster. I think it's definitely a very versatile one at that. And obviously they also have trebuchets as well, so what's not to love? So I'm really curious to see what happens, because this has basically been broken now. We'll stay with it until it's been completely broken, and then I imagine there'll be a big cut until they're ready to assault this final layer. But are they going to wait for this entire because there's a lot of, you know, forces up on this hill, right? Are they going to wait for all of these guys to turn up and push forward onto this mountain? Or are they just going to kind of go? The Isengard army is just going to kill this, which they're doing right now. And then are they just going to move? and assault the last position without the full strength of their force. I guess we'll have to see what the players do decide to do. And have they done enough damage? That is the question. The balance of power doesn't not seem to think about it, because, I mean, the forces of evil have only lost a third of their army, whereas the forces of good have lost over half, or just under half, but soon to be just over half. And that can be very, very deadly, you know. But then again, they do just have that big choke point. They have a lot of heavy cavalry, which, oh, we moved to it at the perfect time. The horses are now moving. That was completely unscripted as well, by the way. That was actually perfect. Sometimes my YouTuber sense is just tingling, you know. So this cavalry is going to be turning up, you know, kind of just marching into battle, slowly but surely. And this is a lot of elite cavalry. You guys have seen how much cavalry does in Attila. They're going to be very impactful, and I definitely would not say this battle is over anytime soon whatsoever. Especially if they can pick at, like, if they move over here, there's a lot of units they can just pick at and try and take down. We do actually have some spearmen set up here, so maybe they're expecting it. Maybe they've had some scouts kind of tell them. We have a handful of the spearmen just kind of scattered around, but these thin lines of spears won't repel a Swan Knight charge, because it's just, what, 2 ranks deep? Yeah, if you hit this part of the formation, they'll just all get broken through and they won't take much damage. It's just far too thin to repel a Swan Knight charge. Okay, guys, so what I'll do is I'll skip ahead also, we can actually just quickly watch this, but we will skip ahead in a second. How many kills are they on? 350 again, that is amazing. We'll skip ahead until either the cavalry do something, or until this army is ready to assault the final layer of defenses, which is set up, I would say, pretty nicely. They've got a lot of choke points for these archers, 6 units of archers plus catapults. It's going to be deadly, especially as they try and break through a thin line. They can't use their horses, and this infantry line is going to hold, you know, for a decent amount of time. They have plenty of reinforcements they can send in, and then obviously they have this kind of last layer of the Aphelion Rangers right here, so it's going to be a hard fought battle, but they have the numbers to do it. You know, they outnumber them 2-1 right now. We'll have to see how this goes down. The Gondor cavalry is making its move, and we do have the horses from Mordor forming up, but they are very depleted after the pre-existing engagements. And now the Gondorian cavalry is going to be looking to break the ranks of Isengard, but their numbers are too few. They will dive into battle, nonetheless. Brave men of Gondor. All the Southern Lancers quickly pulling off and retreating back. That was a very close maneuver. But I guess it shows the skills, and the Gondorians moving in to go ahead and smash this unit right there. The rest of the units looking to go around the infantry, and honestly, this is a really smart move. If they can maybe try and take out this piece of artillery, that would be so big. I think they're also trying to just go after these other infantrymen, which maybe aren't formed up. A rear charge there, or a flanking charge, plus a charge of moving cavalry is going to be deadly. They're also going after the general as well. This is a pretty brutal cavalry charge. You can see that one didn't do too much because they were very much formed up, and they were in shield wall and their heavy infantry. They've already lost like 2 or 3, you know, men off of that charge, like 4 I think in total. So honestly, that was a pretty good, pretty good repel, and obviously they'll do some damage to the Gondorian cavalry. That's kind of how you want to deal with them. But there is so much cavalry coming in right now. They are not looking to give Mordor or Isengard a decent chance to form up and get ready to assault this final layer. There is also a unit of cavalry over here, which I guess they're finally now bringing out. I guess I don't want to no longer, because they could just rear charge all of these valuable units. Oh my god. If they could also get onto these sappers as well, the explosive units, that'd be absolutely huge in this engagement if they could hit these guys, because they do some crazy damage. But for the most part, the cavalry is doing its job right now. It's disrupting, it's doing lots of damage. I guess it also helps that they are fairly upgraded as well. Yes, 70-80 kills right now. They're breaking a lot of these weakened units. That's also something important, because every weak unit that they kill, like a lot of these units that were already fighting who have taken heavy casualties, they kind of just act as like a missile sponge. So the fact that they're now taking care of these guys and basically just leaving a lot more fresh units is going to allow their archers just to hit more valuable targets, because in the beginning of the battle, they obviously were mainly focusing their weaker units against the Gondorians, but now they're throwing a bit more elite, a little bit more elite infantry, just because all their kind of crappy units are now dead. So It's going to allow the ammunition to be spread out, and now we do actually have this cavalry unit looking for a gap, and you can see Isengard quickly trying to form up this shield wall. Oh no, what the hell's going on here? Are they not formed up? I was about to say, why the hell are they charging pikes? But it's because the pikes aren't formed up. They're not in pike formation. This is a perfect charge, because normally players do go ahead and nullify the amount of pikes you can bring to the battle, because they can kind of get a bit OP. And it's not like we're playing, you know, an ancient Total War where it's Greece versus Greece or something. So that charge, I mean, I'm surprised how well they did. I guess because they were formed up, even without their pikes, they get a really big, like, bracing bonus just because they're pikes. They didn't actually take that much damage, but I guess every little does help with the pikemen. The cavalry's still coming in. Did they manage to kill the artillery crew? They really need to try and kill this artillery crew. It does seem like Mordor are finally turning up though with their reinforcements. The Swan Knights have also engaged back here. Have they not been seen? The Swan Knights, no! Mordor have somehow managed to sneak up and start attacking these Swan Knights from the back. I don't think they even realised that they were in here. This is huge. If they don't move these 2 units of Swan Knights, that's going to be such a heavy loss to the Gondorian force. And unfortunately, because there's so much going on everywhere else, finally they realise only losing a couple horses, but still, that could have been just absolutely brutal for them. And finally, as I said, it seems like the Gondorians are going to be losing this fight. But again, this was never about winning. It was just about inflicting a large amount of damage to them. And they've definitely done a good job. But their numbers, they're almost... Oh my god, they're just getting smashed away right now. But the cavalry is doing everything in its power to bring it back. A nice little charge right there, ripping through these weakened units. But number-wise, it's honestly not looking good for them whatsoever.
The enemy have rallied their units.
Now the Swan Knights are going to be pushed into action as well as they move closer and closer over here. Ready to dive in. And then it's just going to be a march over here into this position. You have some axemen set up to ambush as well. So you have some of the warriors of Lasaranak ready to charge in. And I guess try and catch some units off guard, maybe do some damage to missiles. Oh, this is going to be a nice little charge. I mean, there's hardly any of the horses left, but they have managed to find their way through the missile position. And I mean, that's a pretty good charge. These are just Orc bowmen as well. The crazy thing is about the Orc bow rabble, oh my god, they're getting slaughtered. Look at their numbers drop. Is that they're pretty crappy, right? They get demolished in melee. If you catch them in melee, they are just done for. They're awful. And they don't really have the best equipment, you know, they don't have the best composite bow or arrows or anything. But they shoot 260 arrows at a time. You know, like even if they are the crappiest arrows in the world, 1 out of every 260 is going to find its mark. So they're just a really cheap and effective bow unit. They really are. But there you go, Gondor are basically done for. We'll stick around though, because I will cut ahead in a second, but I want to see what these Swan Knights are capable of. So we'll stay around on this part of the battle for a little while, because I want to see what the Swan Knights do. And it seems like they're going to be kicking off right away with a charge to help out this pocket. That's going on, but more Uruks are coming in. The nice... Oh, artillery is coming in as well, holy crap. But kind of a nice thing that's going on right now, yeah, the artillery is shooting point blank, is that they're using a large amount of their missiles on this point, which means they're not going to be using their missiles on these guys either. Is this general retreating back as well? Maybe. But with the artillery coming in as well, that's going to be brutal. Man, I just can't see the forces of good holding this one. There's just so many Uruks and Orcs and Urukai and everything left remaining. The Swan Knights did manage to get back on here though, fighting Berserkers. And the sappers as well, right? Yeah, they're going after the sappers. I wonder what happens if the sappers like blow up here. I think they have to be told to blow themselves up. Yeah, they're just gonna be running away. And that's the Swan Knight unit done. So there you go. They managed to repel that. They did take heavy casualties though. But Pan's power is dramatically shifted in favor of evil. And I feel like that was quite a good cavalry charge for them. They've got bowmen set up though to harass them wherever they approach this position. So let's jump ahead and at least until they're kind of close to assaulting this final position. And then we will be right back with the action. Under a lot of missile pressure, the assault moves on, and now they have arrived. I mean, just look at the hordes filter in bit by bit. I don't think the Aphelion Rangers literally have enough arrows to finish them off, but they will be trying their best, unloading their quivers. You can already see the infantry over here taking a lot of damage to the arrow fire. The nice thing is about this is that the arrow fire can try and target down, you know, like the sappers and the artillery crew and stuff, so I imagine that's exactly what they're doing. The forces of evil trying to bait out some of the arrows by moving forward these weakened units in a shield wall. And you can just see these arrows just going to town. I imagine the main goal of their assault keeps on bringing me back there. Don't know why. The main goal of their assault is basically just to try and keep them in place here for as long as physically possible. And the forces of evil are just throwing wave after wave after wave against their opponents because they have the numbers to do so, and they basically just want to try and absorb as much missile fire as they can in these engagements. And I mean, it's a pretty smart, idea. It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not they decided to shoot the missiles rather than infantry. I assume that's probably going to be their goal just because they don't really have the infantry to sustain heavy missile fire. So I imagine they'll train most of their archers onto the crossbows and other units. And I think that's exactly what we'll be seeing right here. Yeah, immediately trying to kill these missiles, which I think is definitely the right decision here. Because if these crossbows, kill 10, 15, 20 infantrymen, that's going to add up and that's going to do a lot of damage, And it's going to be much easier to break their front lines than, say, just throwing a couple hundred infantry. Or we're getting a bit of artillery bombardment as well coming in. That looks very cool as the hordes just make their way further and further through. Oh, and we're getting the rest of the archers being pulled back from this outer layer to help defend this inner layer. I guess just everything on these Zurich crossbows right now. They also have a position right here as well. It's pretty cool seeing the Gondorians just kind of volley in. Are they shooting units in the back or is it their front? They have turned to them. Okay. I guess most of the units have probably turned towards these guys. There's just still so many more piling in. They do have some honor, but not a lot. Not a lot. Now the rest of the bowmen are being brought up. Basically just anyone who's been depleted in this battle is being thrown forward first to try and just wear down the defenders as best as they can. And it's a real shame that the players probably didn't allow them to use supply wagons. Because supply wagons basically just replenish all your ammunition. I think it'd be really cool if, you could have a supply wagon, but only, on your main point or something. That'd be pretty cool. So if units wanted to replenish, they'd have to retreat all the way back to go back to this inner, the last layer of defense, get more ammunition, and then run all the way back out. I guess that could be abused, because players could just, basically sit all their archers on here and just have infinite arrows, but it just basically mean that if you're attacking, you have to just shoot their missiles to death. I don't think it would be too bad, to be honest. And I feel like defenders should definitely have the advantage. I've always wanted to see that in siege battles, and Rise of Mordor does do a good job at trying to do that with the supply carts. Because you could always replenish ammunition on boats, but you could never do it in sieges. And I kind of felt like, you should be able to get more, run back to the supply stores. And it could just be a really cool system if they ever implemented it in a Total War game, like a proper one. Having to run back to a supply store to get more ammunition. That'd be sick. And maybe, the supplies, the amount of ammunition you have in that supply point is determined by your supplies of the overall city. And that's determined by how long you've been under siege, if you had good harvests. That would just be really cool. Maybe one day we'll get, an in-depth supply mechanic. Because the supply mechanic in Three Kingdoms is very bare bones, right? It's cool that it's there, don't get me wrong. I'm very much, I'm very happy they're adding it in. But it's basically just an integrity bar affected by a few different factors. So hopefully they'll go a lot deeper in the next Total War with that, because I think that's something a lot of people have wanted to see, just supply lines. Oh man, imagine proper supply lines in a Total War game. That'd be so good. And you just see this flowing snake if you go to a certain map mode. Oh, that'd be amazing. One day, boys, one day. So the Harfog Axes are charging in against the defensive shield wall. You can see how effective this shield wall is for Gondor. They are not going down without a fight, and Yeah, they've got a lot of fight left in them. It's just a really, you know, effective unit holding this line. And these bowmen are working overtime. I'm actually holding their fire right now. God, I can't believe I keep on doing that. I meant to press I instead of insert. So I want to see how many kills they have. 118, 150. The artillery has 82, which is pretty good. Yeah, all these archers have done a lot of damage. Now the rest of the bowmen are now being brought back. It does seem like this unit of Gondor archers, though, did get annihilated by archer fire from the forces of evil. So they're definitely putting a lot of emphasis on killing these bowmen. And I guess the Gondorian bowmen decided to halt their shots just because a lot of this stuff isn't, you know, worth it. They might as well wait until more of the valuable units do get brought up, which definitely makes sense. They don't want to kind of just give up. Basically, their trump card is their arrows. You can see there's 3,000 defenders left and over 7,000 orcs in Uruk-hai. And all evil things. But my numbers probably going to shift pretty heavily once all of this breaks. It looks like this is all about to chain break. So if only they had a general with Warcry or something, they would be able to basically just take all of this out. The Gondorians are out for blood and they're going to be pushing forward. Maybe even like it would be worth firing a volley of fire arrows here just to clear these guys out a little bit quicker. Artillery coming in, finding a pretty direct hit. But unfortunately only killing like out of ammunition archers. But again, these are Uruk bowmen with pretty heavy composite bows. So like, these bows are still a pretty decent unit and they can do okay in melee. Not going to be amazing, but okay. Again, more of the missile fire does continue on as these bowmen, I imagine, are going to be taking a brunt of the assault. Yeah, you can hear a lot of arrows coming in. But luckily, being in the forest does provide them a pretty healthy cover. But as soon as they start taking casualties, I think their numbers will drop pretty dramatically. But it will allow them to hopefully use the rest of the ammunition. I mean, what? 124 kills isn't too bad. And you can start to see they are losing units left, right, and center now. More artillery rounds coming off as well. Finding some pretty big hits. We definitely want to try and kill these bowmen. These are very good archers they want to take out. Because these guys can actually do pretty decent in melee. And they do a lot of damage as well with their pretty decent bows. And you can see they immediately go to loose formation. Now they see that the artillery is ranging in on them. All the sappers are moving up though. I'm very interested to see what these sappers do. Because they could basically just throw them in. I think this is what their plan is, right? They're covering in the battle line right there. Yeah, they're trying to basically take cover in this testudo. And I think they're just going to go in and blow this all up. That'd be amazing if they did that. That'd be such a unique way to use it. And they're like hiding in this testudo. This is amazing. All the archers. Oh, the artillery coming in trying to take them out. Break up the formation. That is very cool. Very epic. This is an epic gaming moment right here. I'm surprised more of the archer fire isn't just trying to focus him down. Because we're getting big routes here. But if these sappers get in there, holy crap. They're going to basically blow up this entire section. Oh, the sappers going for it now. No, they're still kind of just taking cover. As more men come up here. I'm really interested to see how this goes down. The archer fire is now colliding in on them. Bring them down, Legolas. Bring them down. You can see all the archer fire is just focusing. And here they go. They are sprinting away. Okay, let's see the arrow fire coming in. They're going to maneuver their way in. If they can blow up this one unit, holy crap, it's going to be big. Arrow fire coming in. Few of them dropping. But several of them are getting to the battle. Did they manage to blow up? There's only like one of them left, right? Yeah, there's literally only one of them left. Is he going to be able to blow up? Or is it going to be super anticlimactic? He's moving up here. Come on, blow up. Blow up. The problem is now that the Gondorians don't want to shoot him because they'll probably kill more of their own men. No, it didn't blow up. Oh, that was such a shame. Holy crap. Also, oh my god. Look how clumped up the archers are right now. This is like the perfect opportunity just to shell this entire area. You need some 88 zeroed in on this right now. And holy god, that would do a lot of damage. You can also see this artillery is being focused down as well pretty heavily by the archer fire. Okay, well, the Gondorians have kind of had a lucky escape. I mean, they are very depleted, and now their men have done a 1066 and charged down the hill, and now are being enveloped. But they're holding on, right? And these bowmen, what, how many men? Oh my god, I keep on pressing insert instead of I. 333 kills, 200, 120. These bowmen both have 200. They've got a lot of damage going on, but I think the Gondorian battle line is now broken here. And the Uruks are moving in. I mean, we still have this entire Isengard army, or Mordor army. Is this Isengard? No, yeah, Mordor, yeah. This entire Mordor army just waiting to move in. I think this is going to be a losing battle, if I'm honest. But the Gondorians are still moving in. And, you know, fighting bravely. They are fighting to the last. And I'll just go ahead and take this time whilst the Gondorians are fighting to the last man. To remind you guys, if you are enjoying this, please do go ahead and drop a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification. Even if you are already subscribed, hit that bell notification. Unfortunately, that's just the way YouTube is. If you want to keep up to date with these Rise of Mordor videos, with the Shogun 2 Rise of Mordor content, or no, Rise of Mordor Last Alliance content, obviously I was going to have a campaign fairly soon. So if you want to be up to date with all of that lovely stuff, just go ahead and subscribe. I'll be obviously probably one of the first to let you guys know as soon as you can play that campaign, and I'll be playing it myself probably a little bit before you guys can. And obviously any more Rise of Mordor updates we get should be very good. And obviously it's summer at the moment as well, so a lot of modders have a lot more time. So I'm hoping we'll see a few more things being added to Rise of Mordor before the summer is over. We're obviously constantly getting so many awesome maps as well, which I'm so happy about. I think it's really good that the map modders are working super hard on Rise of Mordor, because some of the stuff we're getting is amazing. And I really hope as well they start to develop a few more different architecture groups as well, because I think that'd be really cool. You know, at the moment I think we mainly just have Gondor architecture, which you saw in the previous custom maps. It'd be really cool if we got like custom orc walls and stuff. That'd be really cool. But yeah, now we're getting light infantry poured through, and I imagine these guys could go after the infantry, honestly. But for the most part, I think they're just going to be trying to surround these guys. More reinforcements being brought to the fight. Looking to end this one swiftly. And I think, yeah, let's just jump ahead until more action happens, because this is going to be a slaughter right now. So let's skip ahead until they're ready to push on this final bastion of the Aphelion Rangers. But I don't know, it's not looking good for them. However, I say that, the numbers are being cut down, and you know, they still have a lot of fresh archers still left remaining. So, I mean, maybe we're going to get a twist ending. And also, I think this is a tower as well, which they can use to their advantage. Yeah, this actually shoots out fire arrows. So, maybe all hope isn't lost quite yet. Okay, Gondor does not want to give up this forest without a fight. So, they are sending out some more contingents of infantry to go and basically stop the Isengard forces in their tracks. And again, I think this is a pretty good idea. It's not like they're taking much away from their inner defense. And they're clearing out a lot of these weaker units, which is meaning that Isengard are having to commit their fresher units a lot sooner. So I think this is a really good, you know, this has been a really good battle from both sides, keeping to the story of the scenario, but also playing very, very well. You know, this has been a very good defense and a very good assault. And I really like the way that, you know, even though this defense has been very staggered, they're still kind of just pressing the forces of evil at every step of the way and making them commit their soldiers even when they don't want to. But the forces of evil using their numbers very nicely, continuing to commit men round the flanks and envelop them. Hopefully these archers can get out of the battle as well, because it would suck if they lost. They've still got half their arrows left. So I'm hoping these guys will be able to retreat back, but maybe they will just get caught out. Doesn't seem like they're shooting at the moment either. Oh my god, they've got an entire Uruk band running towards them. There you go. Notch your arrows, boys. Give them a volley. Quickly. Quickly, give them a volley. Oh no. It's not looking good for them. And this is really unfortunate for the defenders. Yeah, they're running away now, but they're going to take a few casualties as they pull out. Hopefully just trying to get the hell out of there. They can now use these bowmen up here, right? They've got some good cover as they try and pull back. They're going to take a look at their kills. 180 kills, man. These bowmen have really done some serious damage. Are they just going to give these archers up? Maybe. There's also some cavalry over here as well they could quickly maneuver in. I think again, though, we're going to have to maybe skip forward a little bit. I don't know, actually, we'll stay here for a bit because even if they are bringing up more reinforcements, there's still action going on, which is nice to see. But yeah, it does seem like they're just going to completely give up this unit of bowmen right here, which is, yeah, pretty unfortunate, losing a large amount of arrows right there, especially considering they have so many archers left. It would have been a very good unit. And now they're having to commit this unit of the Gondor sword infantry to make sure that this unit gets out of there. Once again, this unit I think is trying to shoot maybe. I mean, it's not a bad idea, right? Shoot these guys in the side and back, but yeah, they're just going to get caught by more infantry, and that's going to be bye-bye to them. That is for sure, as more and more men just get... Oh, look at all these Uruks being thrown in. Balance of power, yeah, they're outnumbered massively now. Even with all of these archers shooting as well. It's going to be a very, very hard-fought fight. That is for sure. The Aphelion Rangers aren't even shooting yet as well. I imagine they'd want to be using their ammunition, but I guess they're saving it because there's like, what, Uruk crossbows with all their ammunition left. They desperately do want to kill them. And maybe not waste it on these kind of weaker units on the front line, which definitely does make sense. I'm also really interested to see what this cavalry unit does, because it is visible right now. They're not hiding it, so Isengard and Mordor can see it. So I'm very interested to see what this can do. I'd imagine they'd just leave a unit of spears here and block off this area. Rather than if it was hidden, maybe they could have got away with it. The fire arrows are now coming in, looking for blood. We'll just leave it on triple speed for a little bit longer. I feel like there's a lot of interesting stuff happening, but I want to triple speed it just because it's mainly just maneuvering, but you can kind of see how the battle is developing. Yeah, and there's a lot of bowmen left here. I mean, obviously that's going to be the main focal point for the archers of Gondor, but I mean, we obviously also have these crossbows over here as well, who are basically shooting point blank into their opponents. You can kind of see them through the forest right there. And obviously the more volleys they get off into them, the stronger it's going to be for them. You can see more infantry right here as well. So every crossbow bolt is going to take out some pretty serious amount of soldiers. Oh, we also have a unit of Fountain Guard though. That's nice to see. The Fountain Guard bravely ready to defend this non-fountain. To the last, of course, to the last. After a bit of back and forth, the main assault has occurred and they are committing heavy infantry to the fight. They basically have been throwing like kind of the weaker contingents of their army, just once again looking to soften up the assault. But right here we do have the Fountain Guard set up in defense with the support of the Ringlow Vale infantry as well. So it's going to be a pretty sturdy front line, honestly. And I doubt they'll be breaking through that pike line, but they can obviously try and break through this part of the defense. It'll probably be a little bit easier than trying to push through them Fountain Guard pikes, which are so deadly. The balance of power, however, is not looking good for them. It really isn't. There's 4,000 Uruks and Orcs left remaining and only 1,200. And a lot of these 1,200 men are going to be archers. So I think as soon as this formation breaks, it's going to be, yeah, game over for them. But these Aphelion Rangers are volleying in 24/7. Up to 200 kills. Wow, that's pretty impressive. These guys over 200 as well. That's not bad at all. The archers have definitely been the MVPs of the defenders this day. How many? We got a full unit of Aphelion Rangers back here as well. Definitely we want to use them before the front line breaks, because I imagine the front line will break soon enough. And oh my god, look at the dead bodies piling up there. Can't really see it there. How about like this angle? Yeah, you can see the amount of bodies just piled up right there. That's kind of crazy. I mean, there's just so much infantry still left remaining, though, just waiting for its time to be, you know, called forth by the Dark Lord to do their bidding. They have managed, though, to deal a large amount of damage to the archers, though. It seems like they don't really have any missiles left to kind of pressure the back line whatsoever. But I think we're seeing this right flank breaking now. That simply is going to open the floodgates for their infantry to push forward. And that's obviously going to be the valuable berserkers moving in. Over 66 kills on them. You even got some heavy spears as well from Isengard and Mordor here as well. Pushing. I love the way that Mordor has all different types of weapons for their spears as well. Kind of, I think, really fits them. But yeah, immediately we're going to be seeing infantry just pouring through this gap. We do have the, Citadel Guard moving in, but as long as Isengard are quick enough, they'll be able to envelop this front line. You're even getting cavalry. They're just trying to stem the bleeding with everything they have right now. Yeah, pushing forward unit after unit. And I think here we go. The Citadel Guard are now committed against the Berserkers and heavy Isengard infantry. This will be their last stand right here. They've also managed to kind of create a gap here, so if Isengard do want to commit more men, they can break through this small gap and kind of start to envelop the main battle line, even though they are under heavy archer fire from the units in the back. But again, Gondor are running out of ammunition. And even though they fought bravely, I think their time is here. They're bringing up their own pikemen as well. Through the heavy, dense forest. Ready to put down these pikes and push in. And it's going to be great at killing out the Swan Knights as well as other units. We're going to be able to advance these guys forward, reinforce, deal with the Swan Knights. And I imagine we'll be seeing the rest of the... Yeah, here we go. The rest of the Isengard army and Mordor are just pushing up now. Looking to move in here for the killing blow and finish this battle off so they can move on, meet up with the rest of Dunland, and then I guess make their final stand, because this is obviously a three-part scenario. So Gondor managed to win the first one, repelling the Isengard assault. It seems like Isengard are going to win this one, so they're going to be able to regroup and I guess prepare for one final epic battle, which I'm definitely looking forward to. And obviously if you guys are... make sure to keep an eye out for it. A lot of it, you can't really see as many bodies here because there's dense shrubbery right here. But there are a lot piled up. The Fountain Guard actually proving pretty decently. I mean, how many kills are the Fountain Guard on? What? Okay, I don't think I can ever talk shit about the Fountain Guard ever again. They're on 700 kills. When the hell did that happen? I cut some parts out of this replay, but still, not the part where they got 800 kills. Okay, well, my words. If I ever talk crap about Phantom Guard again, guys, please remind me of this one time where they've got over 800 kills, not really doing much. That is insane. I mean, yeah, granted they're fighting big units, but still, that is a lot of kills. Man. I mean, they're enveloped now, but they've got 800 kills. That's crazy. The Berserkers round the flank now as well. Maybe they found a guard had been buffed in the most recent patch and I just didn't realise. That's absolutely insane. That really is crazy. We'll triple speed just for a little bit of this last battle, as I don't want to skip it, but I also feel like, we've kind of got the picture of the grind happening. So we'll just speed it up just a little bit before the last stand. I mean, as you can see, there's not really a lot left for them. They kind of have this front line that is now breaking, so that just more of the numbers can pour through here. Fountain Guard post still holding on. I can't, not 1,000 kills on them now. That's just insane. When did they get all them kills? Not quite. They're making me out to be a liar because they need to get 2 more kills. But still, that is wild. But yeah, more infantry are pouring in now. They've even got like a nice little reserve line right here as well. Is that cavalry doing anything? And the cavalry, I don't know what it's up to. I think maybe it was trying to like get down off here, but there is no extra way up, so they are literally just stuck here. They have to charge into these halberds, otherwise they can't do anything. So they might as well just give their life to the battle. As more and more infantry just pour in. Fountain Guard are finally going down. But holy crap, over 1,000 kills. That is just crazy. I still like am gobsmacked by them. They used to be so trash, but I guess maybe it's because I was using them and they weren't in the right hands. More archer fire coming in as well to finish off the Gondorians. I imagine all that archer fire is probably focused on the Fountain Guard. I would not be surprised there. More pikemen are being broken, but for the most part, they are, just grinding away, and the numbers are going to be kind of the main thing. 3,000 left for the Forces of Evil. And yeah, they're even starting to break some of these bowmen back here who aren't really doing much, who have basically just already routed. But these arrows are going to try and take down as many Uruks as they can before the end of the battle. Obviously everything they kill here does help out for the next engagement, so we're going to be firing the last couple shots from the Aphelion Rangers. And then they're going to be calling it a day, I think, and Yeah, the cavalry's probably not going to get involved in anything. It's just going to sit out there. Arrow fire is going to be coming in, trying to help out the Uruks. We're trying to kill the Uruks, I should say, not help them out. Help them out by cleansing them in fire, maybe. The Swan Knights moving in are just such a deadly force. They really are. Even, like, engaged with Spearmen, the Swan Knights still hold their own for a while. And their impact is so good because they're just so heavily armoured. But even they're going to break it. It's only going to be the Citadel Guard left remaining on the field of battle. Bravely holding to the last. Such a strong unit. Are these archers broken yet either? No, the archers are still left remaining. But now the spider swarm is moving in. Man, I wonder if they're ever going to add in spiders for Mordor as like their cavalry. Or like goblin riders. That'd be pretty interesting. Imagine obviously it's probably not their top priority. But that'd be kind of cool to see. And yeah, now you just have the last couple of units coming in. The archers bravely fighting against the berserkers. So it's some free kills there for the berserkers. Unfortunately, I don't think they're ever going to get anywhere close to the Fountain Guard kills though. The cavalry are now kind of skewered between berserkers and pikemen. And there you go, the general's breaking. And I think all hope is lost. Only a minute left. We're going to be getting a cavalry charge out here against the Uruk pikes, just like Pelennor Fields. Oh, that sound was not nice. A lot of this cavalry, I imagine, is just going to go down now. They actually managed to break through kind of effectively. Wow. I was not expecting that. Is that supposed to happen? They haven't taken a casualty yet. I don't think this is supposed to happen. Because now they can just rear charge them. That seems ridiculously strong. This should not happen. They should get slaughtered on that charge. Yeah, the rest of the battle is just over now. So GG indeed. Thank you very much to the guys who sent that in. That was a very awesome battle, and I really appreciate you guys coming up with these cool scenarios. It really does spice up the Rise of Mordor battles, and I appreciate it. But the forces of evil are going to take it this day. And I just want to verify how many kills them pikemen did get in the end, because it was kind of crazy. We'll take a look at the Uruk-so first. You can see a decent amount of kills. Even these Dungan tribesmen doing very nice. 500 kills on these White Hand Stormers is going to be the MVP there. Over on Mordor as well, cavalry of over 300 kills is always pleasant to see, that's for sure. Then for the Gondorians, where in Fountain Guard. I don't think they were in this army, but for the most part, it's going to be the archers getting the most amount of kills there. Where are they? Where are they? Over 1,021 kills. That is crazy. Shout out to them, holding their own and killing many Uruks and standing up to their glorious name. So guys, this will be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.